This is Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom
and
Chi. She's been crying to me.
Yeah.
So I keep asking her what she wants.
Yep.
And look at her looking around.
Yeah.
She wants her bowl filled.
Yeah.
That's
so
what she wants.
This is another cooking with Kenshin1913.
Yeah.
And what are we making today, Ma?
We're making spaghetti squash. These are spaghetti squashes. They grow all summer into the mid-fall. You can usually get them almost all year round in the grocery store. It's a squash, and why they call it spaghetti squash is because you'll see after it's cooked, when you're taking it out, the flesh from the inside, it looks like spaghetti, and you can add it to anything. Now, people cook it in different ways. You can roast it in your oven. You can microwave it. Now, some people who microwave it just put holes in it so it won't blow up in the microwave and just cook it. I like to slice it in half, which is a little tough sometimes for me. And then I'm going to show you a trick about putting it in the microwave. It will it'll come out really, really hot. So you just have to make sure you have protective pot holders and stuff. And spaghetti squash really will take on the flavor of almost anything else. It's a very, very mild squash. So I'm going to show you one of the dishes that I make it with, but you can also do it with pasta sauce, or really you can try anything that you like. Now, as far as cooking time, excuse me, it's really tough to give you an exact time. It depends on how big they are. It depends on how high your microwave cooks at. So you just have to play it by ear and keep testing it. So here's what I'm going to do. Be very careful. We don't want to end up in the emergency room.
Yeah, what you want to do is just cut it in the middle. Is there another way you can do this?
I like to cook it two halves.
No, I mean like cut it.
Oh, cut it?
No.
No. If somebody else knows of a better way, let me know.
Yeah, put it in the comment section. So yeah, what we're going to be doing with it is microwaving it. That helps cook it pretty quick. Spaghetti squash is something I usually don't eat, but the way my mom makes it isn't too shabby.
So this is the spaghetti squash. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape out the middle here where the seeds are. Mm-hmm. And you can save these and dry them. They're almost like a pumpkin seed if you wanted to roast them and salt them. Or you can save them and then grow your own spaghetti squash next summer. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to take a spoon and just kind of grate along the side until you get this pulp out of here.
Similar to like when pumpkin season comes around, you gotta take all the guts out of a pumpkin.
Butternut squash.
Any of them pumpkins, or any of them squash.
Big squashes.
Now, what you said that this is something that's around fall during the fall, pretty much. Mostly?
No, it all summer. Mm-hmm. Through the fall, you can pick them. And then, like I said, in the grocery store, you can get them most of the year.
Yeah. The nice thing about this is if you really want to, you can substitute. So yeah, what does it look like, Mom? When you're done scraping it. Yeah, so it should look like that.
And you can see if you want to pick out all of the seeds.
Yeah, very similar to a pumpkin.
Okay, so we've got the seeds all cleaned out. And my trick is, when I put it in the microwave, I get a paper towel that I wet. pretty liberally, not so, not so that it's dripping wet. And I put it over the flesh so it doesn't dry anything out inside.
Now
Okay.
you can put both halves in the microwave like that?
Yes. And I start off with 5 minutes and I'll check it and then I'll go from there to see if it needs a little longer. This actually took 5 minutes. I had put it on and then I ended up putting it in for another 5. And so you're going to put your fork in it and it's done. And the bigger one that I have is in the microwave cooking now. I put that on for 10 minutes. It wasn't done, so I put it on for another 10.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So
you want to be
now what you're going to do, and this is cooled down, because sometimes I do this shredding right after it comes out, and I can't even hold it. It's so hot.
Right.
So what you're going to do is take your fork, and as you can see, it looks like spaghetti,
Right.
and hence the name.
Yeah, and one thing that I was going to mention... Yeah, hold it. Watch your arm. There you go. Thank you. Anyways, one thing I was going to mention is this could be, if you're really like trying to be health food conscious and everything, this could honestly be a substitute for spaghetti. Like literally, you could.
Yeah, because they put the pasta sauce on it.
Yeah, what I would do is probably you put the sauce on, but you could fry it up, get a little like more, a little more consistency of what spaghetti would be like. I guess like a little thicker or whatever, and then put some sauce on. Obviously with olive oil. But yeah, you're just going to want to scrape out the
So
innards.
as you can see, it does look like a spaghetti.
Yeah.
So this is the one smaller spaghetti squash. The other one is still in the microwave, and as you can hear, the fan from the microwave is on. So what you're going to do, the way that I'm making this particular dish, is you got your squash, garlic, small white beans, salt, pepper, and olive oil.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, pretty simple. So let's start with our EVOO. Now, can you do spaghetti squash like ahead of time, and then like refrigerate it and then cook it when you want?
I think you probably could, because nothing's going to happen to it.
Right.
So I'm going to cut my garlic up here. I have the oil on to get warm.
Yeah. So when did you start eating spaghetti squash? Like who taught you? Who showed you the recipe to make it?
Well, Daddy's sister used to grow them, and she started doing different things with them, and that's
Right.
how I originally kind of knew about them. Before that, I really didn't know that much about spaghetti squash. And then a bunch of my coworkers have eaten it for quite a while, so they gave me different recipes and stuff. Usually what I do with this also is I'll add a little bit of hot pepper to it. And your father ends up putting on, after, when he's eating it, puts a little grated cheese on the top of it on his dish.
Right.
So it's very versatile, as I said, because it's a mild squash that doesn't really have much of a heavy flavor, so it'll take on the flavors that you're putting into it. And as you can see, I'm doing a lot of garlic because I like a lot of garlic.
Yeah, we're a big garlic family. I mean, we're Italian. That's what you get. Garlic. You get a lot of it. But don't let it burn. Don't let it burn.
Nope, then you gotta throw it away.
So what would you say the consistency of the spaghetti squash is? Like, is it wet right now? Like,
no, it's
when you throw it in there, is it gonna splatter up or anything?
No, it shouldn't splatter.
Right.
I mean, it has a little moisture in it, but it's pretty good.
Don't let the garlic burn.
It's almost like wet noodles.
Yeah. Spaghetti squash is one of these things where, we started eating it a couple years ago, and pretty much I don't know if you've ever noticed on our set, quote unquote, our set, we've had spaghetti squash in the background like all the time because we eat it quite a bit. Like I said, it's a really good substitute for spaghetti, honestly.
Okay, so I'm lowering the heat. I'm going to add the 1 can of white beans.
There is our other spaghetti squash. Hopefully it'll be ready.
And this was good, actually, that I had to wait because when I was doing this smaller spaghetti squash, it was cool enough for me to handle it with my bare hands.
Right.
So I'm just going to bring this up to a quick simmer. I'm going to put a little salt.
Yeah. Now with these beans, you're throwing in the bean juice as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take it out if you want, but you want that little bit.
Yeah, if you want it dry, if you want it drier, you can drain the beans. Now I just happen to be using white ones, but you can use any kind that you wanted. Okay, as you can see, it came up to a simmer. So I am going to add our spaghetti squash.
Now at this point, are you going to season the spaghetti squash as well?
Yes. I'm not going to put too much more salt in it.
Right.
But I'm going to add some extra pepper. And as you can see, it kind of soaks up that liquid that you had.
Yeah, like my mom was saying, my dad adds cheese. You get a little hot pepper if you want, a little
Yeah, we're going to add a little
red pepper.
A little hot pepper flakes.
Just to give it a kick.
Yeah, a little kick. Not too much.
Yeah, although you might want to add that earlier, so the flavors meld, or not meld, but bloom.
So now this is gonna. I'm just gonna keep heating this just for 5 minutes, not even.
Yeah.
Just so that it all kind of the flavors meld together. Okay, so we're done. I'm going to plate it.
Look at how nice it came out.
And a nice piece of Italian bread or garlic bread with this will be beautiful.
Really good. You can garnish it with some basil or whatever you want, really. Very nice. So let's eat it. Alright, so here's our spaghetti squash. As you can see, came out very nice. I'm going to take a little bit of it. The garlic, the beans. What else? Spaghetti squash, of course.
Very hot.
There's a lot of garlic in it. It's very good. Yeah, it's not bad. You know what? Originally, I'm not a big fan of spaghetti squash, but this isn't too shabby. I mean, it's kind of plain, which is kind of like what you want for spaghetti. I mean, you want it to take on whatever flavors, and the garlic, you got a lot of nice garlic in it. But yeah, the beans is good. Yeah, it's not too many carbs, as my dad's saying from off screen. Anyways, I have been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
This has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy and happy eating, and let us know if you make different mixtures with it.
Different variations.
We'd like to hear from you.